Where in UK were you
Mm.
again?
Oh, I was in Brighton in the UK.
Oh, by the water.
So
Okay.
by the water, and it's a great scene. It's a lot of bands, a lot of great bands actually. There's one of my favorite, all-time favorite bands that's from Brighton. It's the 80s Matchbox Benign Disaster. They were pretty big in the early 2000s, and it's actually a big influence for this band, for
Okay.
Position Nuit. Um, it's kind of, it's also very punk rock, but a lot of sort of like jazz influences, but also like rockabilly. It's a little bit, it's a good mix of things. So you've got some, birthday party in there, just like us basically. But also, some, Stooges as well. I think they were
Mhm.
big bands.
I love that.
Um, yeah, and I think for me, my thing with rock and roll started pretty much with Nirvana, and from there it was, Stooges basically pretty quick,
Oh,
pretty
Iggy
quick,
Pop.
like right. Yeah. Just reading about, reading interviews and then, Kurt Cobain's interviews and then his, book or whatever, and just looking at all, he made those lists and then top of the list was always like, Stooges album, and then I was like, oh, what is that? And I still remember the first time I, heard the Stooges and like, shit, this is what I want to do. Um, so I guess yeah, that's where it started for me. And then so yeah, anyway, yeah, I did in Brighton.
Where in France are you from?
Normandy, from a town called Rouen. And again, that's also a town with a lot of music, a lot of good bands. I don't know if you know the French band The Dogs, but they're from Rouen. And there's another band I was a big fan of, the Electrocution.
Mm.
They're my friends now, and they were actually a big influence on me, like playing in my first bands in France, and just, watching them live and see what they were able to do, and just the stage presence that they had, because they had great stage presence, and
Mhm.
that really had like a big influence on me at a time when I was, still in high school and in college. So yeah, Electrocution for sure. More than the Dogs actually, because the Dogs is just like more like historically like the main band from that um region, that part of France. But Electrocution were active when I was, there, and then I've seen them play live, and that was like an actual influence on me. And then hanging out with them and everything, and then being influenced by them directly. And playing with some of them actually later in my life was had a big like, impact on my path with, music and bands overall. So yeah.